how you going, guys? Getae here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm playing as EPIRUS. I'm very interested. I was watching a couple of battles over the weekend from some colleagues, and they were playing as the EPIRUS. EPIRUS? I don't know how you would call them in IRL. But I'm playing as EPIRUS. My general is a Royal Peltast. And I've brought a selection of Mercenaries. It's pretty much a complete mercenary build here, aside from the militia hoplites and also of course a general. What else? And the Thessalian Cav. So Thessalian Cav and the militia hoplites are going to be born and bred in EPIRUS, and the rest of the units are going to be our mercenaries. So straight away, I love this map, Mons Regius. I'm going to make a break for this hill, just to occupy the high ground. Now, it's not much of an advantage, but you know, it just gives me something, because I do notice that he's got a whole bunch of Folksmen, and if these units get a good charge on my own units, then you can bet that I'll lose almost half of that unit. So, for a very cheap unit like that to kind of destroy half of a very expensive unit like mine, definitely not a good thing. So, what have I got? What's my build? What's my build, bruh? I got 3 of these Mercenary Rhodian Slingers. Fairly expensive units. This is going to be where a lot of my killing power is. I've got, on my flanks, I've got a selection of Cavalry. Some of the best that you can get from EPIRUS. The Greek states have fairly good cav, and I feel like EPIRUS is a fantastic faction to bring. They have these mercenary Italian cavalry, very good medium melee cavalry, these guys, and also Thessalian cavalry as well. I've got the same thing happening over on that flank as well. Now, my center is going to be made up of a combination of hoplites and swordsmen. I might just wait until I'm actually in a formation that you can actually see things properly. So let's go to my opponent's build here. We'll have a look at what he's doing. 3 of these Dacian heavy bowmen. He's brought the Getae. So these units are definitely a strength of the Getae. They can take a fair punishing from enemy missiles, as they do have a fair bit of... Oh wait, what's that armor? 30. So not that great, but still fairly good for a missile unit. So 3 of them. He's got 2 armor spears up the front. Probably going to be used as what do you call it? Meat shields. Though I can't understand why he would need meat shields with units like these Folksmen around. Maybe he's hoping to hold my units and then use his Folksmen to charge me on the flanks and that kind of thing. That'd be a pretty good method. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ladies and gentlemen, the spam is real. 6 of these Folksmen. So easily capable of ripping apart half of my unit's men in one charge. He's bringing up the rear with these 2 of these mercenary axe warriors and 3 of these noble swords. Very, very powerful infantry corps there. He's also got 2 of these noble horsemen over here as well. So I definitely have the cav advantage. I'm pretty sure I've got the missile skirmishing advantage as well against his Dacian heavy bowmen. Because I am going to be screening with these 2 militia hoplites, fairly cheap units, fairly good armor, good missile block chance as well. So these guys are very cheap. I'll be using them as a bit of a charge bait, but also as a meat shield. Yeah, just to hold off any charges that he tries to put up against me. So my method is going to be to disrupt his charges of his Folksmen with these militia hoplites, and then follow up with my combination of mercenary Samnites and Etruscan hoplites, and just kind of get into combat without, you know, letting him charge me. So my center is made up of mercenary Samnite, mercenary Etruscan, mercenary Samnite, mercenary Etruscan, mercenary Samnite, mercenary Etruscan. So lots of mercenaries. Oh, and these Illyrian levies are also native to EPIRUS. So I've got 3 of those. Oh no. 1, 2, yeah, 3. So they're going to support cav fights and also flank as well. So these guys have javelins, I believe, throwing axes or something. So fairly good armor piercing damage. But if they get charged or shot at by enemy missiles, they will crumble fairly quickly. So I'm confident we can win this little engagement with the cavalry over here. So I'm just going to stare him down. He has popped, what has he popped? Quick reload there. So have I. Now, I'm not, at this point, I think I underestimated how good these Dacian heavy bowmen were. So I popped quick reload. I'm not focus firing, which is definitely a mistake. I definitely should be. I'm going to pull my Mercenary Italian Cav out and try and push back his Dacian heavy bowman. Though he's going to meet me with an armored spear, which definitely makes me think twice. So I'm able to push back this Dacian heavy bowman over there and get some fairly good rear charges in with my own Mercenary Rhodian Slinger. He's going to pull back. I'm going to make sure I get my Mercenary Italian Cav out of range. So my Mercenary Rhodian Slinger is doing okay. At the moment, it looks like they're probably not winning their current combats. Not convincingly anyway. But it looks like he is definitely focus firing on this one Mercenary Rhodian Slinger, which is exactly what I should be doing to him. So definitely something to be learnt here. I'm not very good at skirmishing engagements, I could admit. I'm okay at infantry engagements. I'm okay at flanking and, you know, micro and that kind of thing. But skirmishing isn't a whole nother story. So he's going to bring his noble horseman up. I see like a little bit of danger happening here, so I'm going to have to pull back my Rhodian Slingers and try and meet him with my Militia Hoplite. I'm also going to pull up my Thessalian Cavalry up here. Now, if he goes ahead and takes his engagement, that could be very, very wasteful of him. But my units are... they are heavy shock cavalry, whereas his are very heavy shock cavalry, and he had to turn around. So I probably could have caught his unit there with my Thessalians, but I didn't want to risk taking any damage from skirmishes or javelins or anything like that. So I've been forced to pull back my Thessalians. My Rhodian Slingers have been pulled back as well. At this point, I kind of learnt to actually focus fire, because he has managed to destroy one of my own Mercenary Rhodian Slingers with 27 men left. So a whole lot of ammo wasted with that unit. Really angry at myself that I enabled my opponent to do that. So at this point, I'm going to focus fire. Take a leaf out of my opponent's book. Jujubur is learning. And it looks like we're going to do a fair bit of damage there. 41 men left in this unit, 46 in this unit, and 64 in that unit. Both of these units, I don't know how much these Dacian heavy bowmen cost, but I think it's probably, I don't know what is going on with this Rhodian Slinger over here. Really annoyed that this formation is kind of bugging out, so I'm going to have to pull him back behind my spears and re-find my enemy unit here. So he's going to charge straight into my Militia Hoplites, but I'm going to follow up with my own Thessalian Cavalry, downhill charge. So this is probably going to be a very good engagement for me. So what precious cavalry he has, he's absolutely gone and wasted like almost half of this noble horseman here. And he's being chased by Thessalian Cavalry all the way out of this engagement, so he's going to lose a lot of units. So at this point, he is going to come in and reinforce with his armored spears, so I'm going to pull my own Thessalian Cavalry out with one loss. I didn't really lose two, actually. It's absolutely true, I lost a lot of units in that Militia Hoplite. Now, did you know these units are very heavy? They are very heavy spear infantry, and look what they're wearing. So these guys have massive mass. Or a huge amount of mass. Yeah, I didn't realize that these guys were very heavy spear infantry. So very good at this particular use of being, you know, charge bait. So you could see there where his noble horsemen, very heavy shock cavalry charged in. They didn't really do too much. They weren't able to punch through my own Militia Hoplites because they were very heavy spear infantry. Yeah, like a little bit trivia there. I got really excited when I first found that out. So yeah. If you guys want to use a meat shield, as these Greek states use those Militia Hoplites, they're very good units. So I'm going to do what I was talking about before and just interrupt his charges here. He does manage to get two of these Folksmen in between, and they're going to shred that Mercenary Etruscan Hoplite over there. I'm going to pile in with a couple of different units. Yep, here we go. Illyrian levies are going to come in and charge into the flank of this Folksman, probably finish him off fairly quickly. These units have fairly poor morale, so they're gonna rout with a lot of men left. Though you can see this Etruscan Hoplite took a lot of losses straight off the bat. This Militia Hoplite got shredded. My Mercenary Sam Knights, I was able to get them into combat without being charged. And the same goes for these Etruscan Hoplites over here. So we managed to finish off the Folksman threat, or the first wave. And I've got a Mercenary Italian Cav over here to use at my own disposal. So he's going to pile in a couple more armored spears here. And he's going to do the same over there. Looks like he's got Mercenary Axe Warriors coming into my Sam Knight Warriors. These guys will be very tanky. They'll be able to hold up fairly well to a lot of these units. Though he is bringing his core of Noble Swords in, so I'm going to train my Radiant Slinger Fire in on these Noble Swords and see if I can get some nice kills. I get a downhill charge with my Thessalian Cavalry on his own Noble Swords, and then I'm going to pull them out pretty much immediately. Just give him a bit of a love tap. And then my downhill charge for my Illyrian Levies to hold them in place, and then backing up with these Etruscan Hoplites and Mercenaries Sam Knight Warriors. So lots of units kind of coming in here at different angles and that kind of thing. Using my cavalry to get nice, flank and rear charges. He hasn't actually used his Noble Horseman yet, so he's got kind of like a half-strength Noble Horse here and a full-strength one over there, not really being used to any effect. My Mercenary Sam Knight Warriors coming in here to attack his Armored Spears. They'll do quite well in that engagement. My Thessalian Cavalry coming here to back up my own Illyrian Levies. And then finally bringing my Royal Peltast in. Now I'm going to try and use up all of his ammo before I actually get him into combat. So you're going to see me kind of put him into different positions and take some shots, then move somewhere else and take some different shots, Getting some nice rear charges in here with my Italian Cavalry. Into the back of these, what are they? Mercenary Axe Warriors. And pretty much immediately they're gonna rout. So I've got a couple of Sam Knight Warriors ready to pile into another fight somewhere. Here's the Thessalian Cav being absolutely indispensable. He does throw in his Noble Horseman over on this flank over here, up against my Thessalian Cav and a mixture of Sam Knight and Etruscan Hoplites. Now the good thing about these Etruscan Hoplites and Sam Knight Warriors means that they can hold up in combat for a very, very long time. And what that means is I can use my own cavalry, especially my Thessalians, to get nice rear charges, that kind of thing. Here we go, you can see my Royal Peltas pretty much throwing at point-blank range, so they cannot miss. Straight into those enemy Noble Swords there, so getting some good kills. I'm going to move this unit pretty much immediately to a different spot and take some new shots into some other units somewhere. My own Italian Cavalry going after his skirmishers just to hopefully finish them off and prevent him from using them in the late game. Mercenary Axe Warriors probably doing a very good job against my Etruscan Hoplites and Illyrian Levies. So very close fight over here, but I'm going to finish them off with my Sam Knight Warriors here. Noble Swords getting into a combination of different units. I'm going to pile my Peltas into this fight now, up against the Noble Sword. They're probably going to do quite well there. Now I've used the Whip and Shield Wall, so their stats are through the roof. 71 melee attack, 39 weapon damage, and it's all too much for my opponent, and he quits. So 48 kills for my Royal Peltas, doing a fairly good job with their javelins. First off, Italian Cav, doing okay, not too bad. But these Thessalian Cav, absolutely instrumental. A lot of these kills were rear charges and that kind of thing. So doing a really great job. Radiant Slingers doing what they do best, and my selection of Mercenary Infantry doing a fairly good job at just holding out and not dying. Militia Hoplites just, speed bumps, pretty much. And Noble Swords doing a great job, getting a lot of kills. They kind of got into very good situations where they could be used to their full potential. So over 80 kills on every single one of them. Pretty good. They probably should be getting more to be cost effective, especially up against cheaper units like Levies and Militia Hoplites and that kind of thing. So Folksmen not being used to their full potential. If they did get proper charges, they would all be getting, 60 kills like this one here. But I was able to blunt the charge of most of them, so rendering them pretty much useless. Armored Spears, don't really know what they were doing. Oh, they actually, yeah, probably not really doing. If my opponent just if he kind of ditched the Armored Spears and tried to get, frontal charges with these Folksmen, he probably could have done it okay and spent a little bit more money on the on cavalry, maybe to try and finish off my speed bumps, because he really needs to get rid of my Militia Hoplites in order to use his Folksmen properly. And even my cavalry, it's fairly easy in Total War Rome 2 to stop people from doing frontal YOLOs. I've got Cav at the ready. I've got, cheap units like these speed bump Militia Hoplites ready. So it's fairly easy to deal with those kind of units. But yeah, good game from my opponent. Thanks for the match. I think his name was Aussie. Yeah, classic name. Thanks, dude. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Juju Bear signing out. Bye.